Hey everyone, this is Dave Pike, the MotorCity mechanic. Today we got a video on installing the cabin fresh air kit on a 2010 all the way up to 2014 Ram pickups. They did not come with them from the factory, but there's a kit out there now that you can get through Geno's that'll help you install the fresh air kit, and that's going to solve two problems that's out there, and I'll show you what they are. Alright, so this is actually what a good evaporator looks like. As you can see, it's real clean. You can actually see all the way through it. Airflow going across it's going to be great. What happens though is on a AC evaporator, the way it works is it will condensate and it will have moisture on it. Moisture drips down to the bottom of the AC box, goes out in the drain. That's why you see water on the ground. Now in dusty, dirty climates, what happens is, being that this is already wet, the dust and dirt still make its way into the box from the outside. It's blown across the evaporator, and what happens over a period of time is that moisture, that dust and dirt start accumulating and finally start clogging up the little orifice here that the air blows through, to finally you get almost a solid sheet of mud and dirt. Like I said, this is what a new one looks like. Now here's one that's had that problem. Now they were complaining about the AC not cooling well. The AC was cooling fine. The problem was we didn't have a lot of airflow through. The reason for no good airflow is we've got a solid sheet of mud almost, so the air isn't coming through like it used to. But the only way I've ever seen to fix these is to clean them the best you can outside the vehicle. Customer opted to actually replace this one. So inside the box, you could try spraying some water if you can get to it. Most of the time you cannot. And then as thick as this stuff is, because I mean literally I have to scrape it off. It comes off in big pieces. To get all that out would be almost impossible, let alone to get it all through the orifice, because if you did start cleaning it, it'd start probably flowing through the little cutouts in here and then start blocking it up even more. Plus there's certain areas in that AC box that don't want water in there. So you only got the little area up under here that accumulates and drains out. Once you start blowing water through here, it gets further into the box, which isn't a good thing. So that's what happens in dusty, dirty areas. If there is no cabin filter for the vehicle, this is going to happen. Highly recommend running it on recirc. Don't run it on outside air the more you need to. That way you can keep it as clean as possible, because the only thing going through it will be the air inside the cabin. You're not actually getting air from outside blowing directly through it. Now there's going to be some accumulation, you can't help it, but when it gets to this bad, that's what I highly recommend doing. So now you see what the worst case scenario is as far as that dust and dirt environment getting on the AC evaporator. Now we're going to check out this kit that Geno's offers that's there to fix that problem. Now a lot of people like cabin filters for pollen, for allergies, stuff like that. This actually helps prevent the dust from getting in there, so definitely check out this kit. When your kit arrives from Geno's, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get your cabin air filter. It's a Wicks filter, so they do offer replacements directly through Geno's, or you can probably cross-reference the Wicks number and pick up at your local parts store if you need to. Also, it's going to come with the Mopar door. As you can see on here, the door actually says which way the airflow goes, and so does the air filter. So definitely, I'm going to repeat that numerous times throughout the video, because it's very important so everything works the way it should. So definitely keep that in mind. But that's your kit from Geno's for the cabin air fresh kit for 2010 all the way up to 2014s. 15s, being that they've just coming out, there's a very good possibility they'll work as well. So definitely check back with Geno's, because they update their catalogs and online as well. But right now, 2010, 2014s with the possibility of 15s, I'm quite sure of it. Nonetheless, this is your kit for $29. Alright, of course, the first step we need to do, we need to go ahead and open the glove box. Now we're going to be removing this glove box assembly, so you need to go ahead and take everything that's in it out so it doesn't fall onto the floor. Now there's two catches on the side of this glove box that keep it from falling down when you open it. Now all you got to do is squeeze in on the sides of the glove box. I just pick up slightly, squeeze in, and then they clear the stops on the side. Now it has half cut out hinges, which means they grab a hold of a portion of the dash. If you rotate it far enough, they will start to release, and then all you gotta do is lift out, and there we go. Glove box is now out of the way. Now we can get up under here and I can show you where that cabin filter is going to go. Now when it comes time to cut it, you've got a couple different options. You can work with using anything from a Dremel with a cutoff wheel. You can use a high wattage soldering iron with a nice little flat tip blade that would turn bright red, and you would actually be cutting into it and melting the plastic as you go around. And then of course you can always use your box cutter. Just be careful not to hurt yourself when you're using it. Otherwise, you've got 3 different options. If you've got one of the 3, awesome. If not, go buy whichever one is the cheaper. That way you'll have what you need to cut it out with. What we're going to start off trying to use is the box cutter blade. We got to find us a corner, and we're going to kind of dig the blade into to make a hole, and then we're going to work it down. Like I said, be careful. It's a razor sharp blade. Last thing you need to do is be going to the emergency room. Now we can do that corner, and then it's a matter of just starting from another side and start working it down. So just take your time and go all the way around. Now all you got to do is worry about cutting the rectangle portion out. You don't have to worry about doing this step down right now. We're just going to work on getting the main portion cut out first. One thing that kind of helps is if you do like a sawing motion where you go in, come back out. That way you can kind of line yourself up each time. Because every time you push down, you're also pushing forward. That's one way to get up in here and do it. Just follow the lines that are already there, especially the one down the bottom. There's a line already, and then as far as the upper portion, you'll see a line too. Just follow it, take your time, go all the way around with it, and then you'll get real close to being able to put this thing in. And the way we'll know for sure if we got it cut right will be if the door fits, and also if the filter goes on right. Now all I gotta do is cut this far corner, and then this piece will be ready to come out. Now just make sure you go back, double check your door, make sure it fits, because keep in mind there's 2 little fingers that stick out here, and they've got to be able to clear that opening. So if you need to come back and trim a little bit more along the bottom of the edge, so be it. Just make sure it finally gets going good. Top side looks great, sides look great. Just double check your bottom edge, just make sure that those clear. As long as those clear, you're great. If not, and you need to come back, just do a little bit of trimming there with that blade, and then double check again. Now we got the hole cut out here. We got a nice little rectangle shape that the cabin filter will actually fit up in. Now the thing you need to worry about on this cabin filter is when you install it is which way you've got the arrows pointing. That's got to be the flow of the air. The way this one works is the air comes into the top, goes down through the filter to the blower motor and inside the box. So make sure they're pointing down. This filter only goes one way, so make sure you install it properly. You just want to make sure your arrows are facing down. And once you get this all the way up in there, you'll get it all the way flush, and then you put your door on it. Grab your door, make sure it lines up good. Now we got the door up here, just push down firmly. I recommend you reach around the corner with your finger till you hear a snap. Make sure that the fingers are locking in place. Then you know that the door's not going to just fall off. And to release it's the same way. You squeeze in on the side, one side, other side, take it off, pull the filter out, slide a new filter in. And what I say again and again and again, make sure the arrow's pointing the right direction so it's doing what it's supposed to. And make sure you snap it back in place. So there you have it. Now all we got to do is reinstall the glove box door, which is the same way it came off. Just hook up the hinges here, rotate it up, sides clear the sides, you're done. Now you know to check it every so often, which is about every 15,000 miles. You want to take this off, pull the filter out and look at it and see if it needs to be replaced. If you're needing anything Dodge diesel related, definitely check out Gino's Garage. You can hit their website up at ginosgarage.com. Don't forget you can get them at 1-800-755-1715. You can go through their online catalog, and you can also request your own. They've got everything from service kits to hoses to gauges to harmonic balancer, fuel system, brakes, diff covers, exhaust, dash, interiors. They're basically everything from bumper to bumper, including apparel and tools to do the repairs. So definitely give a shout out to Gino's Garage. They usually got everything in stock, and they always give you a little something free in the box as well. So definitely, you can't go wrong. You need anything from an 89 model all the way up to 2015, they've got it. So there you go. You got your fresh air kit from Gino's. It's going to work from 2010 up to 2014 Ram pickups. Like I said before, you'll notice what happens to the evaporator over a period of time. Once that happens, you have no choice but to remove the dash, AC box, clean it, or replace it, reinstall it. But then definitely make sure you go back with that cabin fresh air kit. And then if you got an issue of allergies, pollen, anything getting into the car, that's the other purpose as well. Solves 2 problems. So at this point, I appreciate any kind of thumbs up on YouTube. Don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and you can also check me out on Instagram as well. Now, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that you want to send directly to me, you can get me at david@motorcitymechanic.com, and I'll try to reply back as soon as I can. In the meantime, keep watching.